Is Tejas from Gyanberry. Just let me know if I'm audible or not. If anybody is not able to hear, you can put it in the chat message so I will know if my mic is working or not, if I'm audible. Okay, so I assume everybody can hear me. So very good afternoon to everyone. As I said, my name is Tejas. I'm representing the organization Gyanberry. Before I start the presentation, I would like to thank Ms. Lina for giving us this opportunity and organizing, this whole setup. We really appreciate this. We are a UniConnect, GEMS UniConnect partner. So very even more happier, to present today, especially for the GEMS network. So, as we all know, today's agenda is about studying medicine. We are going to categorically talk about studying medicine in the European region and in North America. Before I get to the topic of the presentation, I just want to give you a quick introduction about Gyanberry for those who are not aware of our organization. Since we are not a university, we are education consultants. It is important that you know the profile of the company. So here it is. We established in 2013, so we're almost now 8 years old, organization now. We are a trusted name in the market. We are certified by the AIRC, which is American International Recruitment Council, one of the prestigious bodies in the US governing the education consultants and agencies. We have a network of around 500 plus universities. In the last 7 to 8 years, we have counseled over 10,000 students. And one of the key attractions of our agency is that we are the official entrance exam center for European universities. So that's what we are aware in, popular in the market for. So in terms of the network of universities, we have a really, really wide range of countries that we deal with. So as you can see on the screen here, we represent universities from the European region. We also represent universities from the popular destinations like the UK, Ireland, but we also have some emerging destinations such as Russia, Georgia, Turkey, and Cyprus. So to sum it up, we are able to give a broad, range of universities to the students to choose from. So let's get to today's agenda, which is studying medicine. So we're going to speak about medicine opportunities available through Gyanberry in the European region and in the North American region. So I want to point out that when I say medicine, we are just not referring to medicine per se. We are also referring to courses such as dentistry, pharmacy, and physiotherapy, because these are the courses are also available in some of the universities that we represent. So before I get to the specific universities, I want to give you a quick idea about the profile of the universities in terms of what our universities are. So firstly, they are recognized by the WHO, World Health Organization. They are also recognized by most of the medical boards in India, in UK, USA, Canada, and the various countries in the Gulf region. What does that mean is if you get a degree from the universities that we represent, and if you wish to continue your practice in any of these countries, you will have no problem in the recognition of your medical or the doctor degree. All the universities that we represent have on-campus accommodation. This is a very important point, for the parents. So your children are going to stay in the same campus where the teaching is going to happen. So they don't have to look for separate accommodations when they apply to the universities. All the students get on-campus accommodations. The universities that we represent are traditional and high-ranking. What I mean by traditional is that they're well-established universities, they're old universities. And in medicine, it is true that older the university, the higher the expertise they will have in that particular, I would say the course. All the universities that we represent, they have 1-year hospital internship included in the program. This is very important that student gets experience in the local hospital. So all the medical programs offered by our universities, they offer 1-year experience in the hospitals of the universities. Last but not the most, but the very important point, which is the language of instructions. All the universities that we represent, they teach in English. So to apply to the universities, you do not necessarily need to know any local language. This is especially true in terms of the European countries that we work with. So when it comes to medicine in Europe, we represent certain countries and certain universities. So you will see it on the screen here, which is Ireland, Czech Republic, Italy, Hungary, Lithuania, Latvia, Germany, Spain. Now, students ask me that, in the Europe, there are many, countries. So why, there are only specific countries shown here? So the answer to that is the language of instruction. The countries that you see here, they predominantly offer programs in English. There are many other countries in the Europe, but they teach medicine mostly in their local language. So we'll go through these countries one by one and the universities available in these particular countries. First, very popular one, which is Ireland. So there are benefits attached to studying in Ireland. Firstly is the highest number of international students studying in the European region are in Ireland. And obviously, after the UK, exit from the European Union, Ireland is the only English-speaking country in the European region. Ireland offers excellent job opportunities for the students. So once you graduate, you can look forward to, continue to work and settle down in the country. And Ireland is obviously very well known for high quality of education. The ranking of the universities is really good. So some of the universities in Ireland that we represent are Royal College of Surgeons, University College Dublin, and Trinity College Dublin. All three of them, they offer 5 or 6 years, medicine program. And in terms of the ranking, especially UCD and TCD, they are among the top 100 universities in the world. We also represent DIFC, which stands for Dublin International Foundation College, which is a medical pathway college leading to one of the universities that you see here, which is RCSI, UCD, and TCD. So just a quick overview of what are the admission requirements and the fee structures of Irish universities. So if you see the fee structure, they are slightly on the higher side. I would say comparable with the UK or Canadian or US medical schools. So on a scale of $50,000 to $60,000 is your average per year tuition fee in Ireland. Over and above, you need to consider your living expenses as well. If you're going for the foundation program, you will be paying roughly $17,000 for the foundation program, and then you will pay the first year tuition fee as shown here for the universities. In order to apply to the Irish universities as an international student, most of the international curriculums such as the IB, British A-levels, or the US or even Indian curriculums are recognized. Exception being in the Trinity College Dublin, they do not accept Indian curriculum students directly into the year 1 entry. Irish universities for non-EU students, for international students, accept students based on their high school performance or on the basis of their predicted grades, in case you have not graduated from the school yet, which is the case with most of the applicants. But there is no specific entrance exam which is required from international students. If you are an EU passport holder, there might be an additional entrance exam required for you to appear in order to be eligible for the Irish universities. The university starts in the month of September, and usually the academic year ends in somewhere in July and August. Okay, moving on. So I would like to talk about Germany. Obviously, similar to Ireland, Germany has very similar benefits, top-ranked universities. It has a very high focus on research, and that's why they're, that's what they're known for. And in Germany, you will have an additional advantage, which is learning a new language. Obviously, German being the 4th largest, spoken language across the world. So students studying in Germany obviously get the advantage. While studying, they can acquire the German language skills as well. Over and above that, Germany is also known for master's program or residency programs for doctors. So if you graduate as a doctor from Germany, most likely you will continue to study and work over there. So in Germany, obviously, there are many universities, but we categorically represent one university, which is UMCH, which teaches in English in the first 2 years. So that's why it's a very popular option. So just to give more information about UMCH, it's a Romanian university which has set up the campus in Germany. So as maybe some of you know that in Romania the universities are teaching in English. So they have set up the campus in Germany. So that's why there also they teach the program in English language. But that is limited only to the first 2 years. So after completing the 2 years, the students have an option to complete the last 4 years in Germany, or they can, transfer their studies to Romania campus, which is the home campus. So it's up to the student. But even if the student completes the 4 years in Romania, they can come back to Germany and apply for work license to continue their practice in Germany. Now, why you should study in Romania and why you should study in Germany campus, I will explain you in the coming slide. So you will see here there are main differences in the fee structure of Germany and Romania track. So in the Germany track, which means that if you continue to study in Germany for the entire 6 years, you will be roughly paying $30,000 per year, per academic year. If you continue to study in Romania, which will be from the 3rd year until the 6th year, you will pay $12,000 per year. So in case you shift back to the home campus of UMCH, you will pay a much lesser fees and then come back to Germany to continue your doctor's practice. So it's totally up to the student. So what are the advantages and disadvantages here is that, say, if you continue the last 4 years in Germany, obviously you will get the clinical practice in German hospitals. Whereas if you continue the last 4 years in Romania, you will be doing the clinical practice in Romanian hospitals. So that's one of the key differences. So it's up to the student, what kind of experience they want to go for. In terms of the admission requirements for UMCH, again, all international high school curriculums are accepted, but over and above that, the university has an entrance exam, which you need to pass to get the admission. So I will talk about the entrance exam towards the end of the presentation so that you get a nice summary of all the universities together. Similar to all other European countries, Germany also begins their academic intake in September, October. Moving on, the third popular country I would say is Czech Republic. It's not in a specific order. I'm just talking in terms of the sequence of my presentation. In Czech Republic, there are peculiar advantage as international students. First is the Czech universities are one of the oldest in the world. So you will see some names in the coming slides. So the 6th oldest university, the oldest university in the world is from Czech Republic. So you'll see the name in the coming slide. For those who know it already, you can verify your answer here. Czech universities offer an excellent quality to price ratio. What I mean by that is the tuition fees are very affordable, but you will get a world-class education in return for that. Czech Republic has a low cost of living. Again, you will say then a lot of fees. Apart from having an affordable tuition fee, the cost of living is also less. Over and above that, Czech universities offer rich diversity in terms of culture. So it's in the heart of Europe, a lot of international students and a lot of different nationalities are living in Czech Republic. So these are some of the universities in Czech Republic which we represent. I would say we represent almost all the universities in Czech Republic. The first being the Charles University. Now, the Charles University has different campuses which are called as faculties. So there is a first faculty of medicine in Prague. There is second faculty of medicine again in Prague. And then there is a faculty of medicine in Hradec Králové, which is a city around 50 minutes from Prague. Then there is Masaryk University, which is in the city of Brno. And then there is Palacký University, which is in the city of Olomouc. These, I would say, these are the 3 national universities of Czech Republic teaching medicine in English. In terms of the tuition fees of these universities, as I said, they're quite affordable as compared with the other countries. So on an average in Czech Republic, you will pay, I would say, 12,000 to 15,000, US dollars per year. plus the living expenses. Living expenses in Czech Republic, I would say, is roughly around $500 per month, which comes out to $5,000 for 10 academic months. Again, all the international curriculum students are eligible to apply to Czech Republic. One of the main requirements to get admitted to these universities is the entrance exam. So again, I will talk about the entrance exam towards the end of the presentation. But as such, there is no other requirement apart from clearing the entrance exam to get into these universities. And Czech universities also start their academic year in the month of September or October. Then we have options to study in Hungary, Spain, and Italy. These three countries offer very similar benefits as, I would say, Czech Republic. The cost of tuition as well as living is very affordable. Plus, these are very popular cities to live in. So these are some of the universities that we represent in Hungary, Spain, and Italy. So these are combined list of universities. So I'll help you just understand this. So in the first row that you see here, the Unicamillus and Università Cattolica, they are in the city of Rome in Italy. Then UCAM, University of Murcia, this is in Spain, and University of Pech is in Hungary. In terms of tuition fees of these universities, the range is somewhere between $13,000 to $17,000 US dollars per academic year. Over and above this, obviously you need to consider the living expenses as well. Similar to Czech Republic, students who want to get admitted to Hungary and Italy, they need to pass an entrance exam apart from having the high school diploma. The only exception being is for Spain, which is for OCAM. They don't have an entrance exam, but they do have an interview for selecting students. All these universities begin their academic year in the month of September or October every year. Moving ahead, there are more options in the European Union, which is Lithuania and Latvia. A lot of students don't know that actually Lithuania and Latvia are integral part of the European Union and the Schengen region. So by studying in Lithuania and Latvia, you get the same degree, I would say the recognition of degree that you would probably get in Hungary or Italy in Czech Republic. So we represent certain universities from Lithuania and Latvia, which is Lithuanian University of Health Sciences, Vilnius University, and Riga Stradins universities. All of these three universities are government state universities of their respective countries. And there are no other universities beyond these which teach in English, which technically means we represent almost all the possible options for Lithuania and Latvia for medical applicants. In terms of the tuition fees of Lithuania and Latvia, I would say they are at par with Czech and Hungary. The average tuition fees, I would say, is somewhere between $12,000 to $13,000 US dollars per year. And again, you need to budget separately for the living expenses. Living expenses will be somewhere between $500 per month, which is roughly $5,000 to $6,000 per academic year. To get admitted to the Lithuanian or Latvian medical schools, you need to give an entrance exam. This is especially applicable for LUHS, which has an entrance exam for admitting students. Whereas for Vilnius University and Riga Stradins University, there is a direct admission based on the high school grades, like the previous 2 years grades, and the predicted grades for the last year of the high school. So there are both options. Either you can go based on the entrance exam, say for LUHS, or you can go for direct admission without an entrance exam to Vilnius or Riga Stradins University. And again, like other universities, the academic year starts in September or October every year. And for Riga Stradins, there is a dual intake. So in case for some reason you're not able to get admitted, or if you don't get a visa for September intake, they also have academic year which begins in January, which is not available with any other university in Europe that we represent. So this is a slight, I would say, advantage of Riga Stradins. And then moving ahead in the European region, we also have option in Cyprus. And I have also added Turkey here, although it's not part of the today's agenda. But Turkey being obviously a popular destination from UAE, I have just mentioned the option which we have in case any of you are interested for. So in Turkey, we represent the University EMU, which is Eastern Mediterranean University, and in Cyprus, we represent University of Nicosia. Both are again state universities of their respective countries. In terms of tuition fee, Eastern Mediterranean University fees for medicine, and also they have dentistry program. The fees is somewhere around $21,000 per year, and for University of Nicosia is $23,000 per year. And for both the countries, to get admitted, you just need a high school diploma. There is no entrance exam. A lot of students find this very hard to believe that, if they don't have an entrance exam, how they're going to admit students. So they make usually a ranking of students based on the high school grades and the predicted grades of the students. So if you're a good performer in the school already, then you have a better chance of admission here. And these universities also begin their academic intake in the month of September and October. Well, so that was about the European countries options that we have. So moving ahead, I'm going to talk about how you can apply to medical schools in the US, Canada, and the Caribbean region. Okay, so talking about advantages of US and Canada, possibly I don't need to talk much about it. We all are aware that these are the two most popular study abroad destinations for students because they offer high quality education, they offer great quality of life, and especially for medical school students, you will get exposure to best medical practices. And moreover, the students as well as the professors or faculties in these countries are truly international, in that sense. So these are some of the partner universities in US and Canada which we represent, which offers the pathway to medical studies. So when I say pathway, I will explain you in the next slide what do I exactly mean. So firstly, in the US and Canada, high school graduates are not allowed to apply directly for a medicine program. You need to first do a 3 or 4 years bachelor's degree in core sciences with a focus on biology to be eligible to apply to a medical school. And that is what is called as a pre-med program. So your bachelor's degree is nothing but called as a pre-med program, which allows you to apply to medical schools in the US or Canada. So once you've done your bachelor's degree, students need to appear for the MCAT exam. And in some universities, they offer you MCAT, preparation courses. In some universities, you'll have to take some private classes to prepare for these exams. So based on your undergraduate GPA and based on your MCAT scores, students are selected for the 4 years MD program, which is nothing but Doctor of Medicine program in US or Canada. After students complete the 4 years program, they are a junior physician or a junior doctor. They need to apply for residency, which is usually for 1 to 3 years. And once you complete that residency, you can, be an independent doctor, or you can continue your postgraduate studies, say, for example, in surgery. Now, that looks like a long path, right? So you have to do a pre-med, and then you have to do medicine for 4 years, then residency for 1 to 3 years. So technically, you are looking at 10 to 11 years to become an independent doctor in the US. So for some students, that's quite daunting and that's quite long. So there is an alternative options, which is the Caribbean region. So there are certain universities in the Caribbean region which sort of acts as a pathway to enter to the medical system in the US. So we represent two universities, popular universities from the Caribbean region, which is first is American University of the Caribbean School of Medicine, and then St. George University in Grenada. So what they typically do is the pre-med program, which is the 4 years bachelor's degree, they sort of compress it in 2 years. And then after completing the 2 years, you can, you will be sent for like clinical rotations in the US, and simultaneously you will complete like 4 years, clinical rotations. So 2 plus 4, you'll finish like 6 years program, which allows you to apply for the residency programs in the US. So instead of completing the pre-med and the doctor's program in 8 years, if you enter the Caribbean region, you can complete the same in the 6 years. But the I would say not the disadvantage. Advantage. The difference would be that the degree will be from the Caribbean universities. The majority of your education, the theoretical education, you will be doing it in the Caribbean region, but you will have the advantage of doing the clinical practice in the US. So this could be one of the alternative routes if you wish to enter the USA market. In terms of fees, for the Caribbean region, they are slightly on a higher side as compared to, I would say, the European region. If you apply for the American University of Caribbean, their average fees is around 38 to 40,000 US dollars per year, and for St. George's is 55,000 US dollars per academic year. And American University of Caribbean, they also have a cooperation program with the University of Central Lancashire in the UK. So what does that mean is you can complete your part of your education of complete education in UCLan and get your degree from the AUC. So this will need a detailed counseling if someone is interested in this particular option. So we will need a one-to-one counseling with you, and we can explain you this option in detail. All right. And to enter the Caribbean universities, you do not need an entrance exam. Again, they select students based on high school performance. Obviously, you might need to do an interview if the admissions team is not 100% sure if you are the right candidate for medicine. So they might ask for an additional one-to-one interview with you to evaluate your motivation and your academic capability to study medicine. And most of the Caribbean universities, they start academic year in the month of September and October. Okay, so beyond the options in US, Canada, and the European region, we also have options for students to study medicine in Russia, Georgia, Australia, and Malaysia. It is not part of today's agenda, but I wanted to let you know that these options are also available. And especially for Russia and Georgia, we'll be doing another webinar on the 17th of May. Again, thanks to Ms. Lena for arranging this. So if any of you wish to explore these options as well, please, I would like to invite everyone to be part of this webinar. Okay, so now I will I will try to summarize all the information that we have talked about in the previous slide, so that you have a good overview to make a decision. So this is a nice slide on summarizing the tuition fees of all the countries. So if you see, the initial slides are for the initial rows, sorry, are for the European region. So for Czech Republic, Lithuania, Latvia, and Hungary, if you see, the total cost per year is somewhere falling between 60,000 to 90,000 dirhams per year, including the cost of living. Whereas for Germany, for the option of UMCH, it is coming to 110 to 140,000 dirhams per year. And for the US, Canada, and the Caribbean region, for the pre-med years, it will come somewhere between 140 to 190,000 dirhams per year. Obviously, when you go into the clinical stages, these fees will go even higher. And for Ireland and UK, the fees for the medical programs will come somewhere between 190,000 to 280,000 dirhams per academic year. Okay. So this slide is about the entrance exam. So as I explained to you in the previous slides, that I will be talking about the entrance exam. Now this is specifically for the European universities, because most of the European universities, they need an entrance exam, especially universities from the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Italy. So if you see the second column, it talks about the entrance exam subjects. So there, P stands for physics, C stands for chemistry, and B stands for biology, and M stands for mathematics. So either you need to do a combination of some subjects or all of these subjects, an entrance exam to be eligible for the medical schools. And I've also mentioned in terms of the difficulty level as compared with the international school curriculums that exist in the UAE. This is the summary of the course duration for studying medicine in different countries. So this is a very, very important fact that students as well as parents need to keep in mind. So this is not going to not only impact the duration of your studies, but also the cost and the tuition that you need to consider for studying medicine. So for the European region, all the medical schools are for 6 years, whereas if you study dentistry, is for 5 years. In Ireland, it could be 5 or 6 years. There are two types of programs available in Ireland, depending on the academic, background of the student. The university decides whether you can go for a 5 years track or a 6 years track. Same is applicable for dentistry as well. In Ireland, there is also an option for 4+4, which is very similar to the US and Canada, wherein you can do pre-med and then followed by 4 years of medicine or 4 years of dentistry. In the UK, it is pretty standard. For medicine, it is 5.5 years, and dentistry is 5 years. In the US and Canada, as I just explained, you need to do a pre-med like for 4 years, followed by medicine for 4 years. So it's total takes 8 years. And similarly for dentistry, it will take total 8 years. Okay, so what next? So if you have, become a doctor, you spend that 6 years or 8 years in becoming a doctor. Usually parents and students ask us, what happens next? What do I do next after becoming a doctor? You typically have two choices after becoming a doctor. One is you can go the PhD route if you're interested more in research rather than treating patients, if you don't like the clinical environment more. But if you like to be in the laboratory more, then a lot of students take up the research or the PhD path, and you can immediately join a PhD after becoming a doctor. Or some students want to continue with the clinical environment and they want to become a surgeon. Somebody wants to become a cardiologist, or somebody wants to become an orthopedic specialist, so on and so forth. And there are obviously two very popular destinations students opt for if they wish to become a specialist. One is the UK and second is the US. So if you wish to become a specialist in the UK after becoming a doctor, there is something called as a FY1 and FY2, which is nothing but the kind of a foundation year 1 and foundation year 2, which is nothing but your residency program to become a specialist in the UK. So you have to first finish the FY1 and FY2, which is for 2 years. And then after that, you can choose your preferred specialization area of specialty which you want to pursue. In the US, it's slightly different. In the US, students have to go through, different stages to become a doctor, which is divided into the steps of the USMLE exam. So the first step of the USMLE needs to be given during the 3rd year of your medicine program. This is in reference to the 6 years medicine program available in the European region. So once you have completed the first 3 years of your medicine, which are nothing but your theoretical studies, you need to give the step 1 of the USMLE. Once you have done the 6 years of the medicine program, you can appear for the step 2. So once you've done your step 2, you can apply for the residency program in the US, which is usually for 1 to 3 years, and you're rotated between different departments of the hospitals. And after that, you have to declare your specialization, which area you wish to specialize in. And while you're doing that, you can give your USMLE step 3, which sort of qualifies you to practice in the US independently, and simultaneously pursue your specialty program. Again, now this is just a summary. If you wish to know in detail, we can have one-to-one chats. We can explain you in depth about the postgraduate opportunities. Okay, so the most important question, like when do we start? The students who are aiming for 2021 intake, you are encouraged to apply from March to December. Anytime between that, this is a good time. So the coming months are the most crucial months for the medical school application, especially for the countries that I have talked about, which is the European region and the North American region. The earlier you apply, better, so that in case any documents are missing, or if the university has asked you to give any additional entrance exam, you'll have enough time to prepare for that. So how we can help you in this whole process? The first preliminary step is counseling. So we encourage all students and the parents to have a one-on-one session with one of our counselors. So we'll help you navigate through these choices based on your budget, based on your requirement, or based on your country preference. We'll help you shortlist the universities. Once you have selected the universities, we will help you with the entire application process as well as the registration for the entrance exam. And the students who are successful in the application process, or once they successfully pass the entrance exam, we will help you with the next steps, which is the visa. And we will also help you with the pre-departure information before, before you leave for that country. And one of the peculiar advantage of Gyanberry is that we provide all the students with the prep materials to prepare for the entrance exam. And also, if needed, we provide students with the prep classes. So I would like to point out some of the benefits which the GEM students will enjoy. First is the free counseling. For all the grade 12 students, we'll offer one-on-one counseling. As I said, to help us, to help you select a suitable university. We will offer 50% reduction on the exam fees in cooperation with our university. So if you're required to pay any exam fees, you will get a 50% reduction on that. And our entire support throughout the application and admission process will be free of charge for all the GEM students. That's about it. So this was a summary of all the information. If you need more in-depth information, I would strongly recommend all of you to visit the website. There's an option to book an appointment. And as I said, we will offer you one-to-one counseling in answering all your queries that you might have. Thank you very much for paying attention for my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer that. I believe while I was presenting, there are already some questions in the chat here. So I'll try to address them one by one. Okay, so Preeti had a question for asking about how Indian curriculum students can get into Trinity. So unfortunately, for the 6 years or the 5 years medicine track at Trinity College Dublin, there is no direct entry for Indian curriculum students. They typically accept A-level and IB students. But if you still wish to study at Trinity, they have the 4-year option wherein you can do the 4 years pre-med and then followed by 4 years medicine program. So that would be one of the routes you could take, or alternatively, you can aim for UCD or RCSI, which accepts Indian curriculum students. But again, for UCD, there are additional requirements for Indian curriculum students which you need to satisfy, which is 1 year of university studies you need to complete in sciences before you apply for the medical program. So you need, after your high school, you need to do 1 year of university studies. But for RCSI, they accept Indian curriculum students directly into the 5 years or 6 years program. I hope that answers your question, Preeti. There was one more question from Preeti, it was regarding the entrance test in Germany. Possibly, I think I had mentioned that in the summary table. So the entrance exam for UMCH will be on all 4 subjects, which is physics, chemistry, biology, and as well as mathematics. The level of mathematics and physics is not, I would say, very high level. I would say it would be standard level of physics and maths, which is, I would say, predominantly your grade 10 portion. But for biology and chemistry, it will be more of grade 11 and grade 12 portion. There's a question by Zayed, which is about Germany having no tuition fees. Which is true. So as I said, for Germany, we represent that particular university, which is UMCH, which is teaching in English, and it's a paid university. Yes, Germany has medical schools which are free of charge, but they teach only in German, and the admission requirement for those universities is totally different. I mean, one of the standard requirement is you need to have full proficiency in German before you apply. Whereas for UMCH, you don't need to know any German before you apply. But yes, if you wish to apply to state medical universities in Germany, that is always an option. but you need to know German prior to the application. There's a question by Preeti again, which was regarding the options after grade 12. So all the European universities that I mentioned, I talked about, they all accept grade 12 students, all curriculums. So there shouldn't be any problem. For USA, Canada, and the Caribbean region, also they accept grade 12 students, but then you have to go for the pre-med program. Only in case of Caribbean, which is sort of a combined program, a 6 years program, you can go for that. They accept high school students.
Hi, Tejas, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
I was asking about year 12, which is basically grade 11, because there are certain students who just don't want to complete A level and they just want to continue on their tracks. Was there any pre-med course or any foundation course? I just wanted to know.
Oh, okay. So for the British curriculum students. Am I right? Am I right with that? So you're referring to the British curriculum students who are doing the AS level, for example?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think that's a very good question. So there are certain universities we represent, they accept AS level student as equivalent to high school in their respective countries. So one of them being the Charles University campus in Haraldrik Kraulo. They accept AS level students directly into the first year. So you don't have to do foundation. The only requirement will be that you need to pass the entrance test. So that is one option. The second option is the University of Pech in Hungary. They also accept the AS level students as equivalent to high school in their country. And again, the only requirement will be to pass the entrance exam. And over and above that, in Ireland, the DIFC Dublin International Foundation College also accepts AS level students for further entry into RCSI year 1. So that could be also the one of the options students can look into. But typically all the other universities, apart from these three, I would say they need students to have A levels in order to have the equivalence in their country.
Okay, thank you, Tejas. There's just one more thing regarding recognition. As you said, most of the universities you are guiding to, they all are recognized in India.
Yeah.
I don't know how come I got muted. So that's my next question is, even though it is recognized, once they go back to any of those countries, they need to write that country specific exam. Like suppose for UAE, it should be MOE, MOH, health, some DHA, some examinations are there. The same way they need to write that exam, or they are exempted for that?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question, and thank you for bringing this to the notice. Yes, so when I say recognized, the degree will be recognized. Obviously, when you are switching countries, say for example, from the European Union, if you come back to UAE or to India, you need to write the licensure examination. So that's a worldwide practice. So only if you continue in that country or region, you can continue to practice over there. But the moment you switch countries, the medical bodies of those respective countries will ask you to clear their licensure exams to give you a license to practice in that country.
Thank you.
Most welcome. There was a comment by Robert saying, will you share the presentation with us? Yeah, we can definitely share this across to you. So possibly I can pass this to Miss Lina, and then you can take it, from her.
And please let us know the details of your further medical webinars also.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a question from Jess, which says, when taking the entrance exams, do you have to travel to the country to take it, or you can take them in Dubai? Well, so as I mentioned in the first slide, we are the official entrance exam center. So all the entrance exam that I mentioned about, we are hosting that in Dubai. We have been already hosting it from the last 5 to 6 years. And from the GEMS group alone, I can proudly say we have placed more than 200 students in the last 7 years in different universities, that you saw in the presentation. So all the exams are held here. In fact, now because of the coronavirus situation, we are also holding the exams online. So students are able to give these exams from the comfort of their home. So definitely, you don't need to travel. You can do the exams here in Dubai or wherever you are. Moving on, I'm just ensuring that I'm addressing all the questions. Okay, yeah, Ms. Lena has mentioned this will be uploaded on the YouTube channel, which is great. Perfect. I think I have addressed all the questions. If there are any more questions, I think we still have some time in hand, so I'll be very happy to answer. I know there are since we are a consultant, we are not a university. We have so many choices, so it's very difficult to give all the information possible in one presentation. So if I missed out on anything or you would like to know more, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Tejas. Thanks a lot for your all information.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending and taking out your time. As I said, feel free to reach out to Ms. Lena and she can route your queries to us, or you can contact us through the website. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tejas.
Thank you.